Shalom, and welcome to another episode of Equis Rants, where we discuss different topics that might not come up normally on a black narrative. And firstly, I'd like to say it is good to be back. It's been a very, very long time. We took a decent little hiatus, rightfully so. You know, there's different stages in life when it comes to just growth and development, and the black narrative had a really good run. I would recommend to anybody to go back and check out any of our episodes. We made a good bit, probably well over 100 over the past years when we were doing the black narrative over the pandemic. I'm not even sure if I can say that on YouTube anymore. It's been so long, but we're back though, revitalized, revamped, and it's just exciting to finally be able to take this journey along with you guys. And there's a topic that's really been on my mind, and an incident a few years ago kind of made me think about it. Me and Black Ice were at a Riza Islam event. This was some years ago, and there was a lot of, Hebrew Israelites and Muslims that were at this event. It was very good, very harmonious. But of course, like anything with such a, I guess you would say B1 or black conscious presence, there's going to be agent provocateurs. There's going to be people that are there just to stir things up. And I remember people were asking different questions before we watched this film by Robert Kennedy. And the questions ranged from, honestly, just seemed like provocations all the way to revolution. And there was this one young lady that asked very explicitly, how would we do a revolution and how would we overthrow the government? Just this crazy, absolutely insane question. And firstly, anybody with sense would look and say, okay, this lady is an informant. she has something going on. But thinking on that question about revolution and, the whole just thought that a lot of people within the community have of this kind of political uprising, it is something that I believe has to be evaluated there's so many different steps that we have until, not saying the whole revolution, but until we are able to even think of having an identity. Because the identity of politics within the black community is very shattered, it's very fragmented. And we're seeing it, of course, we saw it in the B1 movement, and we see it in so many different iterations of the movement. I think the most promising wave, of course, of black sovereignty was probably around the time of the Black Panthers. Black sovereignty within the post-civil rights era would be during the Black Panther Party movement. And you had figures like Fred Hampton, who, of course, was for black progress, but he knew how to bring people together under the same kind of cause. Now, the issue with a lot of us today is we do not have this kind of idea of we're not united, firstly, and we don't have a cause that we are able to rally under and have allies under. And why do I say that? Because any movement, any political movement, any valid political movement needs allies in some way, shape, or form. And unfortunately, we do not know how to build these kind of alliances. And you're seeing the repercussions of that within, honestly, much of the black landscape. You look at various different countries, and you look at Africa, for instance. A lot of people believe that Africa is destitute due to, this whole dark continent theory, or, all these different, whether white supremacist theories or, what have you. But the reality is, tribalism was one of the worst things for Africa during the time of colonialism, because even though they fought against each other, they were still shrewd enough to know when and how to build alliances in order to get their shared interest fulfilled. Unfortunately, we work and operate in extremes, so when they came into Africa, we saw it as an enemy of my enemy is my friend. And we learned very soon that that's not how that's going to work. And amongst the current landscape with various people pushing for this kind of isolationist mindset, especially amongst black ethnicities, to me, that is falling into the divide and conquer strategy that the Europeans have been employing for so many years. And it's crazy because when you think about it, the divide and conquer, of course, is a mindset, it's a strategy that's been used for all these years from an external point of view. But they were able to look at it and already see that at a internal level, that was the best course forward. When you have all these different groups of people, get them in a position where they are isolated, they are done. Whenever you see a nature documentary and you see a wolf hunting down a pack of ox, for example, the wolves don't all just go for different individuals in a haywire manner. They pick off certain individuals and quarter them off in order to be able to have better access to them. And in this modern day of people being separated, people not having community, we don't even know how community and having allies works. Most people, and I will be quite frank here, a lot of people that have this isolationist kind of mindset, when you get a chance to talk to them, you hear their story and you see where they're coming from, oftentimes these people, they don't know how to build relationships. So it becomes an extreme form of, you know what, I'm done dealing with, I don't know how to resolve conflict. I don't know how to deal with people on these different levels, emotionally, physically, mentally. And so it just becomes a cop-out. It just becomes a full-on cop-out because they do not know how to mitigate these things, because a lot of us don't know how to get outside of our comfort zone. And I feel like this is a topic I could go on and on about for a while, but it is something to kind of, and I might revisit it in the future, but that is something to kind of consider. How are you making enemies and making allies in your day-to-day interactions? That's something that I would like a lot of us to consider, because sometimes we might come across people and we have these conflicts in our life, and it's always the other person's fault. Figure out why. Have some empathy. Empathy is something that we have to employ more and more if we want to have any kind of chance on a global scale of building any kind of community. Why? Understanding, okay, well, this person dislikes me. Why? Even if you feel like they are 100% in the wrong, well, they must have a reason. even if it's benign, even if it's something ridiculous, it's always still good to know why. And it's the same thing with having allies. Okay, well, I jive with this person. How so? How are you able to build relationships? These different things that I feel like are being grossly neglected. And especially when you look into, different cult personalities, we are very cultish kind of people, where we just all band behind these enthusiastic characters. One thing that's very easy to exploit is our cultish mentality, because they will take this persona, they will take these ideologies, and they will take you and isolate you and have you think that that is a good thing. You're being sanctioned. You're different. You are all these different things that, to be quite frank, I'm talking to everybody here, we're not that special. We're not that special to the point where you're able to tackle the whole world by yourself. Nobody tackles the world by themselves. And everybody that does try to tackle the world by themselves, they end up in, they oftentimes end up in the grave, or not accomplishing anything, or in prison. So with all these different things to consider, we have to kind of try to break out of our comfort zone, break out of this cultist mentality, break out of this isolationist mentality, and really learn how to deal with people. That's really a strength, is interpersonal relationships. But that's gonna be my spill for today. Definitely make sure you like, share, subscribe. Definitely please share. It's something where here on A Black Narrative, we want to kind of shake up the mindset of our community, promote free thinking. So, if you want to spread the message, spread it forward, share. And that's it. Stay vigilant, family.